All right, guys, welcome back. So, on today's episode, the masterpiece, gold standard of cinema, cult classic icon RoboCop may be getting a TV series on Amazon Prime. Now, I'm going to just read like the good part of the article, and then I'm going to go into my hopes and my dreams for what the franchise could be. And when I divulge into what I want it to be, I'm going to kind of go off into the weeds a little bit, but I promise you it'll all loop around. So just bear with me for a second. So, previous on this article is just saying, hey, RoboCop's an iconic film of all times, starring Peter Weller and such. But it kicks off with the greatest sci-fi action comedy satire. I don't know about comedy, but satire of all time is getting a TV adaptation. But this is the good part. Variety indicates that a new RoboCop television series is currently in the works by Amazon Studios, the film-based division of the multinational conglomerate Amazon, of course, and has now settled on its lead creatives, while a very familiar face has also come on board as an executive producer. Peter Oko has reportedly joined the production as a writer, exclusive producer, and showrunner, while horror mastermind James Wan will serve as executive producer. A longtime veteran of TV, Oko has previously written for projects such as The Office, Elementary, and Black Sails, though this will by far be his most significant role. More details below. And the details are basically they don't have a cast yet. Okay, so now I'm going to get into my sweaty nerd theories of what I would like to see. So hopefully this is a continuation of the 1987 one, not the 2014 remake. I'm just saying, even though the pictures they use are from the original. Yeah, just those pictures. So I hope this picks up right in the boardroom when he shoots Dick Jones out the window. Nice shooting, son. What's your name? He turns around and says Murphy. Smiles. Boom. Title cut. Title cut to the card. RoboCop. What I would like to see is this TV series to be more of a psychological thriller, because RoboCop really became RoboCop versus Robo Monster of the Week, RoboCop versus RoboCane, RoboCop versus the Samurai Ninjas. Then you had the 4-part Canadian series, the Prime Directives, the animated series, Alpha Commando, the 2014 remake. I want it to be the psychology of RoboCop, because as you know, at the end, Murphy says, he kind of acknowledges himself, as he takes off his helmet and says, Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to them? Well, she thought you were dead. She started over again. He says, I feel them, but I can't remember them. And it's fragments of his memory coming back, but we don't know how much of his memory is still there. So what I would like to see is maybe he looks at himself, in the RoboCop, the suit, the being that is RoboCop, going, how much of me is in this thing? And then, through his data spike, maybe they have like some sort of the building of RoboCop, like, hey, this is Bob Moore. This is day one of the RoboCop project. We got this cop who volunteered to be part of this program. And then maybe he'll just watch it. Like, he'll watch himself being turned into RoboCop. And it's like, all right, lose the left arm. Total body prosthesis. And maybe they do something like crazy brutal. And it's like, all right, get rid of the legs. And they do like the absurd, and they just get a chainsaw, just like, and then he's just watching himself just be mutilated into becoming RoboCop. And then he just started looking at himself like none of my legs are real, my arms aren't real. Like, what am I? Just blood, a scalped off face. Like, his teeth probably aren't real. We learned later on his eye, in the second one at least, his eyes aren't real. He's all, nice eyes, Murphy. Good as money can buy.
Good eyes, Murphy.
Good as money can buy.
And then, because what I would like to see is the constant struggle and battle of man versus machine. Because what if, in this scenario, like, RoboCop's going to do something, he's going to take out a drug guy, and the Alex Murphy part of him makes the RoboCop kind of like jerk, and then he eliminates like a child, right? I'm trying to watch my language for YouTube, but he takes out a child, and then it's why did this piece of machine malfunction? And then it's like put him into the chair, go through the programs, and you know how computers are like 10011
1100010,
and you see this like glitch. It's like, well, what is that? And even like the RoboCop part going, this all makes sense. What is this glitch here? And then he goes, and then the RoboCop starts thinking, well, I have this human in me that might have taken over, and then now starts to see Alex Murphy as a threat. And there, in my opinion, there's a little piece of AI, a self-governing system, if you will, in RoboCop. So when RoboCop is throwing Clarence Boddicker through the glass windows, and he goes, and he starts choking him, right? He goes, "You're a cop," and it says, was it Directive 3? When it says uphold the line, it's flashing. Well, the camera pans when his face is all puckered, like, and then if you look at it, when it says, uphold the law, and he lets go of his throat, he doesn't let go. That grip is released, because if you look at it, you see his hand shake, and it's so slight and it's so subtle, but you can see him slightly look at the hand and then look back at Clarence. So there is some sort of self-governing system. And what I would like to see is like in the Scarlett Johansson movie, under the skin, or underneath the skin, there's these images of her and her victim, because she's an alien, in some black room. But I would like that, like a face to face of, like, in the mind that RoboCop is talking to Alex Murphy, and Alex Murphy is just like a face, and like whatever's left of him, kind of like they did in the 2014 remake, which is like the greatest scene of that movie, or the greatest part of that movie is, when they show him how much of him is actually left. If they did something similar to that, where and then Alex Murphy's talking to RoboCop, but he doesn't have the face. It's almost like a Terminator skull. It's just a blank skull. It's just the machine part of it with no humans. And RoboCop's just talking to Alex Murphy like, "You are here to assist me, not take over for me. If you do this again, I will view you as a threat and I will lock you down." And what if RoboCop starts seeing Alex Murphy as some possible threat to the mission of RoboCop, and starts putting up all these firewalls to like lock him down in some sort of cyber cage, and and then Alex Murphy just has this constant struggle over and over and over again to try to regain his humanity. I mean, that's what this needs to be, because RoboCop really is the perfect movie. It's the death, resurrection, and revenge of Alex Murphy. The movie comes full circle. It's a masterpiece, but it's almost like they didn't know what to do with it after the impact of RoboCop. It's just like, oh, let's make another action film, and it became just another, unfortunately, just a sad franchise. Because if you were going to ask me, if someone was going to ask me, the RoboCop franchise as a whole, could you recommend it? And in a yes or no world, I would have to say no, because as great, as masterful as the first one is, everything, like, here's the original, and it's like 2 and 3, and it just trails off. So there's one shining gem in a pile of garbage. And that's unfortunate, because some people may look at it like, oh, RoboCop 3, oh, the remake, no, I don't want to see it. Especially for the younger generation. They may say like, oh, something from the 80s, that's my grandpa's age. And it's like, oh, damn you young kids. You don't know what you're missing out on. But that's what I hope they give to this franchise, is the psychological horror thriller element that this franchise needs, a vitalization, a shot in the arm of adrenaline. How does Alex Murphy, when after he's done taking out Clarence Boddicker, and after he's gotten his revenge, to sit down and just kind of examine what is he? I'm not human. Well, I'm not fully a machine. I'm a cyborg. I am my own I am my own kind of creature. And then what if he starts thinking like, how did this happen? Oh, that's right. Lewis wanted to split up, you know? Because it's like, oh, when they're calling for backup, backup is unavailable. Units will not arrive for like 15 minutes. Or it's like, you call it, let's do it. He's like, okay.
Well, you call it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And if you listen to it carefully, you can almost hear an apprehension going like, okay, like I guess we're doing it. So what if he starts seeing Lewis as, hey, this is because of you. So, he's like, mate, it's like, hey, I wanted to wait for backup. You didn't. Now I know in the Rogue City video game, he says, I don't blame Lewis for what happened to me. I blame the thugs who eliminated me. And then,
I do not blame Lewis for what happened.
But her choice sealed your fate.
No. The thugs who shot me did that.
there's a thing where he's talking to a therapist, and I thought it was so great. And he's like, the programming calms me down from the stress of what happened. It's great, but God, I hope they give this franchise the justice it needs. I would love to see another one of these hit the big screen, because this is a glorious franchise that needs justice. Because he's a cop, justice served. Anyways, guys, if you are still available, if you're still listening, thank you for listening to my insane rants and raves. And if this franchise happens, what do you want to see? Comment down in the section below. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you want to see this franchise? Where do you want to see it go? Do you want RoboCop versus Terminator? Where would you like it to go? Anyways, as always, take care and take it easy.